Just yesterday, TMZ, People, Us Magazine, all of them had said that Blake Lively's deposition was officially scheduled for July 17th. But according to Wayfarer's attorneys, Kevin Fitz, he says Blake Lively keeps pushing her deposition date, and so does Stephanie Jones. These girls just can't be nailed down. We can't get them to sit down for an interview and get deposed. Shocker. Let's get into this really, really juicy letter written by Wayfarer's attorney, Kevin, over to the judge. So many good things came out of this. It's actually quite funny, but let's get into it. So his name is Kevin Fritz. I believe I said Kevin Fitz. Kevin Fritz is an attorney that represents Wayfarer. He represents Justin Baldoni, Steve Sarowitz, Jamie Heath. He also represents Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel. So all of the people against Blake Lively and Stephanie Jones. And he is writing this declaration in opposition to Blake and the Jones party's motion to amend the management plan and scheduling order, basically the plan to extend the discovery. So Blake and Stephanie Jones, they're just trying to extend, to delay any of the discovery because they don't want to own up to any of their shit. Let's just be honest. Let's just call it spade a spade. And here's the timeline. June 4th, he says, the Wayfarer parties served a notice of deposition to Miss Lively. And the deposition was scheduled for June 23rd. Her attorneys said, can we change the date from June 23rd to July 17th, which is why everyone reported that it was July 17th. Wayfarer agreed. Meanwhile, on June 17th, Wayfarer served a notice of deposition to Stephanie Jones. Now remember, Stephanie Jones is the head of Jones Works PR. I think this all started with Jones Works, but she's that PR rep that has a lot of reputational issues, and she was the one that is behind that subpoena gate and gave Blake Lively all of the text messages of Jen Abel. She is allegedly tricky. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. So she got a notice of deposition on June 17th, and she she scheduled her deposition for July 22nd this month. Now, Stephanie Jones' attorneys came back and said, we are not available for her deposition on that date, on July 22nd. And so Kevin, the attorney for Wayfarer, responded and asked when she would be available. And they're just not getting back to him. Well, remember, she has to get deposed. It's not something you can just run away from, like Forrest Gump, okay? Now, meanwhile, Blake hasn't served any deposition notices for anyone at Wayfarer or anyone at the agency group. That's Melissa Nathan's company. So they're not getting any deposition notices. In fact, she canceled Melissa Nathan's deposition. So, and the Jones party, Stephanie Jones, her parties also didn't send any depositions. In fact, Wayfarer and Jamie Heath, all of them, they're proposing dates. Like, when do you want to depose us? We're here and waiting. But she won't schedule it. She's not doing it. She's not saying she's unavailable. She's just not scheduling it. Like, I guess she's too busy. I don't know. You tell me. Now, this is the best. It says, instead, Miss Lively's counsel alleges that they are in the middle of noticing and scheduling additional third parties for depositions. In other words, and this is the best wording, rather than scheduling the deposition of the Wayfarer parties, Miss Lively's counsel is busy, allegedly, subpoenaing various non-party content creators. That would be Candace Owens, Perez Hilton, and Andy Signore from Popcorn Planet. Now, in order to get this all done efficiently, there has to be a timeline because there's discovery and the depositions, and we're getting into the latter part of 2025, and the court case is scheduled for March 2026. So you got to stay on a timeline. And he's saying that Miss Lively and the Jones party's refusal to timely and properly schedule depositions has made the current deadline for the completion of the depositions untenable, which is August 14th, 2025, and therefore the Wayfarer parties do not oppose the motion to the extent it seeks an extension of such deadline to September 30th, 2025. So he's saying we're okay with a deadline. But this is the best, because he's saying that the reason that they're not scheduling depositions is because they need time to review footage of It Ends With Us, the film. Yep, they need time to review footage. It says, citing unidentified public sources instead of someone with actual knowledge, Miss Lively's counsel claims that the film's footage could amount to roughly 50,000 hours of video. It says the court can take judicial notice that 50,000 hours of video is over 22,083 days and more than 5.5 years. They want to look over 5.5 years worth of footage. Do they want to do this or not? Meanwhile, Wayfarer is saying, like, we have been informed that this is only 150 hours of footage. I have no idea what she's talking about, that there's 50,000 hours. We only have less than 150 hours. And this is where it gets also really good. He says, in any event, Miss Lively does not need to review the film footage prior to her deposition because she presumably knows when and how she purportedly was subjected to sexual harassment during filming, and in fact sets forth those alleged instances in her detailed amended complaint. For good measure, it's undisputed that Miss Lively has seen the footage because she edited it. Remember, we saw Blake Lively's cut of the movie. And also, by the way, if you were harassed, sexually harassed, wouldn't you remember it? Or does that just like go in one brain and out another? I don't know about you guys, but to me, this is feeling dog ate my homework. This is feeling like I need more time. It's not me, it's you. Hold on, I just need to do my makeup. I haven't brushed my teeth. I'm washing my hair. Like, come up with better excuses. If you're starting a fire or starting a war, like, come to battle. Blake and Stephanie, you sound like you're guilty.